So I have a wide variety of films I love. Two of the films that frightened me.
William Friedkin didn't make safe movies. He made movies that grabbed you by the throat and didn't let go until the credits rolled.
You'll find that different actors have different ways of working. Like I did a film with Tommy Lee Jones and Benicio del Toro.
The French Connection, The Exorcist, To Live and Die in L.A. These aren't films you watch casually. They're visceral, dangerous, uncompromising.
Police emergency, I need your car. I need your car. When am I going to get back?
Friedkin once said he never wanted to be an artist. He wanted to be a storyteller. But the films that shaped him, those were made by artists, obsessive ones. Friedkin wasn't interested in pretty pictures or clever dialogue. He wanted truth. He wanted sweat and fear and the feeling that anything could go wrong at any moment. He studied films the way a boxer studies fights, looking for technique, looking for impact, looking for what worked and why. His taste was eclectic, unpredictable, sometimes contradictory. But every film on his list taught him something about tension, about pacing, about how to make an audience forget they're watching a movie. These 7 films aren't just favorites, they're blueprints. They're the DNA behind every car chase, every exorcism, every moment of dread Friedkin ever put on screen. He didn't copy them, he absorbed them. And once you see what he saw, you'll understand where all that raw power came from. 7. Citizen Kane, 1941. Every filmmaker says Citizen Kane. It's the obvious choice, the safe answer. But Friedkin didn't love it because he was supposed to.
Citizen Kane, flat out, the most important, greatest American film as far as I'm concerned.
He loved it because Orson Welles broke every rule and made it look easy. Welles was 25 when he made this film. 25.
Is that really your idea of how to run a newspaper?
I don't know how to run a newspaper, Mr. Thatcher. I just try everything I can think of.
And he reinvented cinema overnight. Deep focus photography, overlapping dialogue, non-linear storytelling, ceilings in the frame. Things directors just didn't do. Welles did all of them at once. Friedkin saw Citizen Kane as a young man, and it hit him like a religion. He realized that cinema wasn't about following rules. It was about having the courage to invent new ones. Welles used shadows the way painters use brushstrokes. He composed shots like symphonies. He made you feel the emptiness of a man who had everything and nothing at all. The camera moved like it was alive, prowling through Xanadu like a ghost searching for answers. What did Friedkin take from Welles? Ambition, the belief that you could try anything, break anything, as long as it served the story. Welles showed him that cinema was limitless, that a single film could contain poetry, tragedy, mystery, and rage all at once. One young genius, one perfect debut, and proof that sometimes the rules exist just to be shattered. 6. C. 1969. Costa Gavras made a political thriller that felt like a punch to the gut.
Or maybe 2, like he does. His early films are modern American masterpieces.
Zed is about the assassination of a Greek politician and the cover-up that follows. But it's not really about Greece. It's about every government that lies.
Comment s'appelle-t-elle? Croc, combattant royaliste de l'Occident chrétien.
Every official who looks the other way. Every time power protects itself at any cost. The film moves like a detective story, but the mystery isn't who did it. It's whether the truth will ever matter. Friedkin was electrified by this film. Costa Gavras shot it like a documentary, fast and urgent, with handheld cameras and natural light. It feels like you're watching something that actually happened, something dangerous. The editing is sharp, relentless. Every scene builds pressure. There's no relief, just the slow, horrifying realization that justice might not come. The film won the Oscar for Best Foreign Film, but more importantly, it proved that political cinema didn't have to be boring. It could be thrilling. What Friedkin took from Z was urgency. The idea that a film could be entertainment and a weapon at the same time. That you could make people's hearts race while making them think. The French Connection has that same energy, that same sense that something real and corrupt is happening just beneath the surface. Costa Gavras showed him that truth could be more suspenseful than any fiction. One political thriller, one masterclass in controlled rage, and proof that cinema could change how people see the world. 5. The Battle of Algiers, 1966. This is the film that taught William Friedkin how to shoot reality.
The most suspenseful and important movies ever, because it has to do with any number of themes.
Gillo Pontecorvo made the Battle of Algiers in 1966, and it looks like a documentary. It feels like you're watching actual footage of the Algerian Revolution against French colonial rule. But it's not. It's fiction. Every frame is staged. Every explosion was choreographed. Pontecorvo just made it feel so real that governments banned it, terrified it would inspire revolutions. Friedkin studied this film obsessively. He watched how Pontecorvo moved the camera through crowds, how he built tension with silence and then shattered it with violence, how he made you feel the weight of every decision, every bomb, every life lost. There are no heroes in the Battle of Algiers, just people trapped in an impossible situation, doing what they think they must. Pontecorvo shot it in black and white, handheld with non-professional actors. It's raw, it's urgent, it's terrifying. This film changed how Friedkin approached action. When he made The French Connection, he wanted that same documentary realism. The car chase under the elevated train? That's Pontecorvo's influence. Gritty, chaotic, dangerous. No music, no safety nets. Just the sound of screeching tires and your own heartbeat. Friedkin took Pontecorvo's techniques and brought them to Hollywood. He made blockbusters that felt like war zones. One revolutionary film, one masterclass in tension, and the birth of a new kind of American action cinema. 4. Psycho, 1960. Alfred Hitchcock was a magician, and Psycho was his darkest trick. William Friedkin worshipped Hitchcock. He studied every frame, every cut, every manipulation.
I didn't look at any cast lists or anything, but we had both seen a lot of films. And there was a film called Belle de Jour.
Hitchcock didn't just tell stories. He controlled your nervous system. He made you sweat. He made you scream. Psycho was the film that proved you didn't need monsters or ghosts to terrify an audience. You just needed a mother, a motel, and a shower curtain. Everyone knows the shower scene. 78 camera setups, 50 cuts, 45 seconds of pure terror. But what Friedkin admired most wasn't the violence. It was the control. Hitchcock knew exactly what to show and what to hide. He understood that fear lives in suggestion, in the space between what you see and what you imagine. The knife never touches flesh on screen, but you feel every cut. Friedkin took that lesson into The Exorcist. He knew the demon was scariest when you barely saw it, when it was just a flicker in the corner, a sound in the attic. Hitchcock taught him restraint, taught him that the audience's imagination was more powerful than any special effect. Psycho also taught him about rhythm, how to lull people into comfort and then rip it away, how to make them feel safe and then punish them for trusting you. Hitchcock was the master of control. Friedkin became his most dangerous student. 3. The Wages of Fear, 1953. This is the film William Friedkin remade, and he'll tell you himself, he never matched it.
The film was as well, and I thought highly of the work of H.G. Clouseau, and I love the film.
Henri-Georges Clouseau's The Wages of Fear is pure, unrelenting tension. Four desperate men in a South American village agree to drive 2 trucks filled with nitroglycerin across 300 miles of mountain roads. One wrong bump and they explode. That's it. That's the whole film. And it's unbearable. Clouseau takes his time. The first hour is just watching these men rot in poverty, drinking, fighting, waiting for a way out. Then the job comes, And the second half is agony. Every pothole, every sharp turn, every bead of sweat. You feel it all. There's no music, no relief, just the sound of engines and your own breath catching in your throat. Friedkin saw this film and understood what real suspense was. Not jump scares, not loud noises, just consequence, just the knowledge that everything could end in 1 second. Years later, Friedkin remade it as Sorcerer. He poured everything into it, shooting in the jungle, nearly dying multiple times, creating one of the greatest sequences ever filmed, trucks crossing a rope bridge in a storm. But even he admitted Clouseau got there first. The Wages of Fear taught Friedkin that suspense isn't about what happens. It's about what could happen. And the longer you make people wait, the more unbearable it becomes. One French thriller, one impossible standard, and the film that haunted Friedkin for the rest of his life. 2. Rashomon, 1950. Akira Kurosawa made a film about truth, or the impossibility of truth.
Kurosawa's film Rashomon, which in a way, it was made a few years after Citizen Kane, but it deals with the same thing.
Rashomon tells the same story 4 different times, from 4 different perspectives. A samurai is dead, his wife was assaulted, a bandit is accused. But everyone remembers it differently, everyone lies, or maybe they all believe their own version. Kurosawa doesn't give you answers. He gives you doubt, and that doubt is devastating. William Friedkin was obsessed with this film, not just because it was brilliant, but because it understood human nature in a way most films don't. People lie. People rewrite their own stories to survive. Memory isn't reliable. Perspective is everything. Kurosawa shot the film in bright, harsh sunlight cutting through dense forest. Every frame is beautiful and unsettling. The camera moves like it's searching for truth, but never quite finds it. What Friedkin took from Kurosawa was the idea that you could tell a story without a clear villain or hero. That ambiguity could be more powerful than certainty. His films are full of morally complex characters. Cops who break the law, priests who lose faith, men who do terrible things for reasons they believe are right. That grayness, that refusal to simplify, comes directly from Rashomon. Kurosawa showed him that the most honest thing cinema could do was admit it doesn't have all the answers. One Japanese masterpiece, one lesson in doubt, and proof that sometimes the question is more important than the answer. 1. The Night of the Hunter, 1955. This is it. The film William Friedkin called the greatest ever made.
Night of the Hunter scared me as a child. The Robert Mitchum character with a great script by a man called James A.
Charles Laughton only directed one film in his entire life, The Night of the Hunter, and it's perfect.
Quite funny, ain't it, how they rode all the way upriver in a 10-foot John boat.
Are they well, Miss Cooper?
It's a fairy tale and a nightmare at the same time. Robert Mitchum plays a preacher with love tattooed on one hand and hate on the other. He's hunting 2 children who know where their dead father hid stolen money. That's the plot. But the film feels like something ancient, something pulled from the darkest corners of American mythology. Friedkin saw this film and his entire understanding of cinema shifted. Laughton shot it like German Expressionism mixed with Southern Gothic. Shadows that don't make sense, rivers that look like dreams, moonlight that feels holy and evil at once. Mitchum is terrifying, singing hymns while stalking children through the woods. It's one of the most haunting performances ever captured on film. And Laughton, who never directed again, somehow made every choice feel inevitable, like the film had always existed and he just uncovered it. What makes The Night of the Hunter so powerful is its purity. Laughton wasn't trying to show off. He was trying to scare you and break your heart at the same time. The film is about innocence versus corruption, light versus dark. And Laughton films it all with such simplicity and grace that it feels timeless. Friedkin took that sense of mythic storytelling into The Exorcist. The idea that a film could feel like an ancient story, something passed down through generations, something that taps into primal fear. The Night of the Hunter flopped when it was released. Critics hated it. The audience didn't understand it. Laughton never directed again, But filmmakers like Friedkin, Scorsese, and the Coen brothers worship it because it's proof that one perfect film is enough. One vision executed flawlessly can echo forever. Friedkin spent his career chasing what Lawton achieved in his only attempt. One director, one film, and the most beautiful nightmare ever made. William Friedkin didn't name favorites to be polite. He named obsessions. These 7 films taught him how to build tension, how to capture truth, how to make people feel something they couldn't shake. He learned from the best and then made films that felt like gut punches. He stole techniques, moods, and courage, but he made them his own. Which of these films hits you hardest? Let me know in the comments. And if you want more breakdowns like this, subscribe. There's so much more to uncover.